Good evening, good evening, everyone, and a very warm welcome to all of you. Before we start, may I request everyone to put the mobile phones either on silent or switch off mode. Thank you. So we are back almost after 2 months again with a very wonderful panel discussion this time, and a very happening, trending topic on strategic HR in the era of Industry 4.0 and transforming workforce management in manufacturing. So I think we all have already started, or many of us have already moved to Industry 4.0. But those who are moving and those who are in the transition phase, this is going to be a very interesting discussion for them. So Industry 4.0 is one of the most happening thing right now in the industry, and the management expert Dave Ulrich has said the real competitive advantage in Industry 4.0 will come from how effectively organizations harness human potential in tandem with technological advancements. So it's going to be a very interesting and challenging thing, and it's again going to be a very wonderful evening for all of us to get the insights from such an eminent panel tonight, and the experts who are working into it, and we are blessed to have them here with us. So I request everyone to give them a big round of applause. I request our chapter chairman Anurag to host the guest and panelist on the dais, please. I also request Puneet ji, a moderator today. Thank you all. To begin with, let's welcome our panelists and the moderators for the evening. I request Dr. Nilesh Patil to welcome Captain Vinod Nair, Head HR India for Canpack. Thank you, sir. I request Professor Sachin Lomte to welcome Mr. Vivek Solanke, CHRO, NLMK. Thank you, sir. I request our chapter chairman Anurag Kalyani to welcome Mr. Munish Sharma, Director General, MIT. Thank you, sir. I request Dr. Saurabh Taide to welcome our chapter chairman Anurag Kalyani. So Anurag will always make sure that NIPM branding is ensured. Thank you. I request Professor Sandeep Pankade to welcome our Honorable Vice Chair, Puneet Dingraji. Thank you, sir. So, before we begin, I really thank uh, Mr. Munish Sharma and the MIT College for hosting this program and giving us an opportunity to collaborate with the academia and take on this interesting topic for all the HR fraternity. To proceed with, I request Dr. Saurabh Taide from MIT College to, preamble on the program. So my apologies. Before we begin, I request the dignitaries to join us for the lamp lightning.
At the outset, warm good evening to all the dignitaries present on the dais and off the dais. It is great pleasure that I welcome you all for the panel discussion on strategic HR in the era of Industry 4.0, transforming workforce management in manufacturing, hosted by Maharashtra Institute of Technology Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar in association with National Institute of Personal Management NIPM chapter Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar. We are honored to have distinguished leaders and experts with us today, namely Honorable Professor Munish Sharma Sir, Director General, MIT Group of Institution, Captain Vinod Nair, Head HR, Canpack India, Mr. Vivek Solanke, CHRO, NLMK India, Mr. Anurag Kalyani, India HR Leader, Johnson & Johnson, MedTech, and Mr. Puneet Dhingra, MD and CEO, Loyal Info Services Private Limited. I would like to brief you, sir, about the Maharashtra Institute of Technology on this occasion. MIT is promoted by the parent trust GS Mandal Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar, established in 1975. Offers wide range of courses for graduation level, Faculty of Engineering and Technology, Management, Architecture, vocational program for post-graduation program in engineering and technology and management and serving the society over the 4 decades. MIT is permanently affiliated to Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University, Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar, and is approved by AICT and DT Maharashtra. NAC has accredited the institute with grade A, and UGC has granted an autonomous status to MIT for 10 years, which is the pioneer private institute in the Marathwada region having this kind of accreditation. Recently, our mechanical engineering and computer science and engineering department are accredited by NBA, and because of that, we are the first institute in the region to start BTech degree course in mechanical engineering and computer science engineering for the working professionals. MIT has started new vertical entitled with Executive Education Program offering life skill to trainings, life skill, giving the trainings to the industries. MIT has recognized from the Department of Science and Industrial Research, that is DSIR, Ministry of Science and Technology, Government of India, as Science and Industrial Research Organization, CHRO. MIT has tied up with leading organization to establish Center of Excellences with state-of-the-art research facilities for the research and development, consultancy, training services. These encompass 3D printing, agriculture, environment, civil and construction, electronics, medical devices, robotics, automation and mechatronics, plastic and polymer, CAD CAM CAE. Some of the center of excellences are MIT CARS, that is MIT Center for Analytical Research and Studies, MCIP, MIT Center for Industry Relevance in Polymer Science and Technology, MCAMART, that is MIT Center for Advanced Material Research and Technology, MIT Automation and Mechatronics, MIT Marathwada MedTech Lab, MIT Grindmaster Robotics Center of Excellence, MIT ARDC, that is MIT Agricultural Research and Demonstration Center, and academies such as Red Hat and AWS. Software for the research and training are available at the institute, including MATLAB, ANSYS, Solid Edge, CATIA, etc. This event provides a valuable platform for sharing insights, discussing trends, and exploring the innovative practices in human resource management. We are excited to engage in fruitful discussion and learn from the collective experience of our esteemed panelists who are from the diverse group of the HR. Thank you for being here and contributing to what promises to be enriching and impactful session. Last but not the least, I would like to mention here that the organization of this event could not be possible by the support of our beloved Honorable Professor Munish Sharma sir, Director General MIT, Dr. Nilesh Patil sir, Director MIT, members of NIPM chapter, particularly Mr. Sandeep Pimpre sir and Anurag Kalyani sir, as well as my entire team of training and placement cell. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I request Dr. Nilesh Patil to address.
Very good evening. At the outset, I would like to thank NIPM Aurangabad chapter for making this event possible in Anand Hall of MIT Aurangabad. So, Dr. Taide has already mentioned most of the things about our own institute. So I will not talk about the institute, but I will say something which is which might be more relevant to coming together as an academia and as industry. Today's guest on the dais, Captain Vinod Nair, Mr. Vivek Solanke, Prof. Munish Sharma, Mr. Anurag Kalyani, and Mr. Puneet Dhingra. So, as it was rightly mentioned in the initial speech, you said something about realization of human potential, especially in the realm of rapid changes in the field of technology. So recently, we are working with some of the industries beyond internship, beyond placement. We want to work with industry more in the realm of doing projects in collaboration with industry. So even if we are sitting here together, because the challenges are related to, we are autonomous, although we design our curriculum, although we assess our students, we make many changes so that our students become more capable and they become industry ready. And we are aware that in today's era of rapid changes, it has been becoming more and more difficult for industry to train people or train the freshers for 1 year or 1.5 years. They want the candidate, the fresher, to come and start working at the earliest. And the next level challenge is even more serious, because even if they start working for 1 year with the help of training of their mentors in the industry, it is very obvious that the technology is changing. And because of those rapid changing, the student or the candidate who has entered into the industry has to learn rapidly. So it becomes essential for educational institute to to make it more experiential learning, because that is only going to help, and the lifelong learning, rapid learning rather, is going to make the students more capable, because that is the need of the hour. And as far as our country is concerned, we have many number of youngsters who are entering into different graduation programs and coming out, and it may reach to a peak by 2030 in the range of say 65 crores. So people will be in the range that they will be requiring to have some job for their livelihood. So it becomes very important for educational institute like us, because today more than 5,000 students are working with us. So they have their own aspirations. They want to get into industry. They want to make their career and so on. Industry also has their own aspirations. They have their own challenges. They have their own limitations. So I think we alone cannot contribute to make our students capable in this changing scenario, not only changing but also rapidly changing. So we need a support from industry, not only in placement of our students, not only in giving them internship and giving them some kind of lecture talks. We want industry to come. We will go to industry, and we will try to make the learning of our students while they are on campus on some projects. We want our faculty members to get some opportunity so that they also become capable of developing our students in this changing scenario. So on behalf of my institute, I appeal industry, HR community, that we want to go beyond relationship between HR and TPO. We want a relationship faculty to production, faculty to design, faculty to R&D, along with our students. I think that will be a sustainable kind of partnership and collaboration, which will produce greater benefits in the interest of mutual, in the interest of industry as well as academia. So I will stop here with again thank to all HR community under NIPM in Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar chapter, and wish to see greater collaboration, greater partnership in long term with all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. And you have very rightly said that the industries are having no time to train the students in the current scenario. We are moving in a very fast pace industry 4.0 era. So NIPM as an organization, particularly from the HR fraternity, we are not behind in making sure that the students are industry ready. And as part of that, we have our own student chapters wherein we keep interacting and collaborating with the institutes, guiding, mentoring the students to become industry ready. And as part of that also, recently we have conducted a quiz competition wherein 5 institutes from Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar have participated. So before we proceed to the core program, we would like to felicitate the students from different institutes who have participated in this quiz competition and have succeeded in securing ranks as well as representing Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar in the regional competitions. To felicitate the students, I request our chapter chairman Anurag to be on the front. To begin with, the participants from Shreyas College of Engineering and Management. Okay, if the faculties are here, I request the faculty members also to join us on the dais. So it's important that we participate, and it's not important who wins or who lose. Participation is very important in such competitive things. So big round of applause for them. So we have 2 institutes who ended up as the second runner-ups. So I request team from MIT College. second runner-ups. And the faculties also, if the faculties are present. Big round of applause for them. I request team from MGM College, MGM Institute of Management, if they are here, and the faculty as well. First runner-ups, Devgiri Institute of Management. So they have also represented CSN in the regional quiz competition held by the National Office of NIPM. Big round of applause, please. And the winners from ICEM College. They are here. So they secured a third place in the regional quiz competition as well. So big round of applause for them. Thank you and congratulations to all the winners and participants as well. Thank you, Anurag sir. To proceed further, I request Varun to introduce our today's panel.
Good evening, everyone. So we are pleased to invite first Captain Vinod Nair. Captain Vinod Nair, the head of HR at Canpack India Private Limited and decorated former soldier, who will be joining us as panelist today. Captain Vinod Nair began his career in the armed forces, serving in key operations such as Operation Vijay, Operation Meghdut, and Operation Rakshak. He brings over 2 decades of corporate HR experience from roles in companies like Ispat Industries, Asian Paints, Volkswagen India, and Greaves Cotton. Captain Nair holds an economic degree, dual postgraduate diplomas in personal management and labor law, and certification in HR analytics, strategic HR and IR, learning and development, psychometric assessment, coaching for performance, and job evaluations. Recognized for his leadership, he has received multiple accolades, including being named among the most influential HR leaders, top 100 HR minds, and Asia Power 100 in 2022. We welcome you, sir. Our next speaker is Mr. Munish Sharma. Yeah. Panelist. next panelist is Mr. Munish Sharma. To introduce Mr. Munish Sharma as Director General of MIT Group of Academic Research and Institutions, and our gracious host today. Mr. Sharma leads MIT with a focus on creating student-centric learning environment and enhancing student capabilities. He has pioneered the academic industry institute industry partnership, transforming educational practices in India. As co-founder and managing director of Nurture Earth Research and Development Private Limited, he bridges academia and industry, working on innovative projects like biodiesel and nanotechnology. Additionally, he chairs the Marathwada Auto Cluster, supporting industrial growth through public-private partnerships. We are honored to have Mr. Sharma here and his valuable insights with us today. Next, the panelist is Mr. Vivek Solanke, an accomplished HR leader with over 20 years of experience in the field of HR, who is joining us as a panelist today. He has successfully managed 5 greenfield mega projects, showcasing his expertise in handling large-scale HR operations. Throughout his career, he has held key HR roles in prestigious organizations such as INA Bearings, which is Schaeffler Group, Anderson Hauser, Caterpillar, Perkins, Ultratech Cement, and Kohler Power Division. Currently, he serves as the Chief Human Resource Officer at NLMK India. As a part of the top 58 leadership team, Mr. Solanke has been instrumental in aligning HR strategies with business goals. Known for his strategic thinking, he has successfully implemented HR initiatives that drive business successes. We are honored to have Mr. Solanke here. Next, our very own chapter chairman, Mr. Anurag Kalyani, to introduce as a seasoned HR leader with nearly 19 years of experience, joins us today as a panelist. Currently serving as the India HR leader for Johnson & Johnson MedTech and chairperson of the NIPM chapter, Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar chapter. Mr. Kalyani has proven track record of managing end-to-end HR functions across Indian and multinational companies. Anurag sir's career includes significant roles at esteemed organizations such as Skoda Auto, Volkswagen, Siemens, Wipro, Caterpillar, where he has handled diverse industrial scenarios, including greenfield setups and factory closures. As a certified Six Sigma Green Belt HR professional and a recognized great place to work people manager, he is known for driving business growth through innovation and people excellence. Additionally, Mr. Kalyani has represented India in the international forums, contributing to projects under the European Union for skill development. So we are excited to have him here. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Varun. So along with all the panelists, we also have Mr. Puneet Dhingra over here, who is also a seasoned HR professional serving the HR industry as a very key support member, providing resources wherein required. So we have him as a moderator today. So I hand over the stage to Puneet and request him to take the session forward.
Make some adjustment. The questions will bomb you more. So thank you everyone for being here for this panel discussion. So on the behalf of NIPM, a warm welcome to you. And before we get into the subject, let's take a quick survey about what is the level of understanding and penetration of this subject in the current situation of our industrial area in this region. So by showing your hands, I want to know how many of y'all are familiar or well versed with the topic of industry 4.0. Just I won't ask subsequent questions. Okay. And my next question is, are you aware about its impact on the HR strategy? Has anybody worked in such situation? Just raise your hands. Very few. So this is just to give you an overview that we are getting started on a subject, though the panel would agree that this is not a new topic. This is something that started in Germany in 2011. So it's now 13 years that Industry 4.0 has been coined and phase wise rolled out. But when it comes to being competent on the international arena, as far as the manufacturing sector is concerned, we need to really do some kind of catch up at times. So, one part is the business decisions that would be taken by the business owners and the leaders. But when it comes to HR being a business partner, you would be called on the board to know your opinion. And that is where we as an NIPM want to empower you, enable you, make sure that you are well aware when you are being part of this topic, what would be your view on this. So that is the basic agenda, the reason why we have chosen this particular topic at this point of time, so that whatever we are getting new investments, so that is the time I think this is going to make a big difference, especially if you're going to get interviewed there. So let's begin with unpacking the topic. The first part is Industry 4.0, and I would like to begin with Captain Vinod Nair, sir. That just let's envision that somebody is walking from this diverse group of manufacturing legacy companies into a new setup. Say, Aether is coming here, or some new smart company is coming here. How would their experience be different from their existing company? What would be the vivid picture that they would come across as an HR into this new company from Industry 4.0 perspective?
I'll try to put. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, you're audible, sir.
Okay. So I'll try to put a context to it. Talking from the Industry 4.40, if we talk about the first three industrial revolution, it was all about production and the supply chain. Okay, the production was at the speed of production, how much we produce, the efficiency was something which was more focused on. Okay, but when we look from Industry 4.40, though it is again talking about the production from a, when we talk from an industry perspective, but it is more focused, it's more human centric, and it is from the point of bringing value to the customer. Okay, when I say value to the customer, you might have seen today even your car which you buy in the last 5 to 10 years, the car which you buy comes with a lot of technology. Today you can buy a coffee on the counter by just waving your mobile. So this is the kind of technology which is happening, which is well supported by AI, robotic, big data, which is very much attached to it, and also automation. So this is what we are talking. When we look from an HR perspective, I would say as an HR, we need to look in as having these things with us in our bags or being supported by how I can make the HR more employee centric or more human centric. When I say more employee centric or more human centric is because the kind of change which is happening around us, it is very, very fast. It's, if I put it as a term, I will put it as a speed, which includes strategy, it includes product, it include experience, it include efficiency, and it includes the last D, which I call it as data, supported by AI.
As we were having a short discussion, you said your company is transitioning into Industry 4.0, if I understood correctly. So what's changing?
Okay, so from an HR perspective, if I put it into various vertical, the major impact AI or Industry 4.0 which has brought in is, if you look, the campus hiring. It has been a very disruptive when it comes to campus hiring. It has made a very big difference. I also talked about bringing the employee experience or the adding value to the customer. When I say adding value to the customer, what is that which comes to me is my employees are my customer. And it starts from the day of starting the hiring, the onboarding of the employee, and the entire employee life cycle which is happening. And when the employee is with me in the organization, it is more about how I manage my talent within the organization, understanding the requirement of the business, what kind of skill set is required, what kind of skill set I already have, what is the gap, what are the emerging skills which are happening. And there are a lot of things which is happening here because we are extensively working on this. We have recently working on a platform called AG5. It's basically to combine the entire skill matrix of the organization so that we can have more talent mobility. We understand what kind of talent is required for us to run the organization. And as the business is growing, I would have a clear-cut picture. Okay, who are those guys whom I can, if required, can move up into a new organization or a new setup which is coming up.
So that was unpacking of the aspect related to HR for Industry 4.0. And Vinod sir has rightly pointed out that there are certain areas which HR has to take care when you are integrating technology into the company. So that was first part. So let's go to the second part of the topic. That is even closer to Anurag's heart is strategic HR. So before we delve into Industry 4.0 and its context to the impact, let's get into a basic understanding of strategy in HR. So, what do you mean by strategy in HR? How is it different from being operational or tactical? And how does an HR play the role of a strategic leader or contributor on the board for the company?
Well, thanks. And I hope I'm audible
Yes.
to the last person also. Yeah. So, well, strategic HR term, it seems to be very fantastic or fascinating, lucrative. But for me, or from a HR perspective, strategic HR is something which wherein you are also responsible for the bottom line of the business. So gone are the days, again, I've been telling this, gone are the days for the HR professionals wherein we are engaged into the mundane activities of HR. Of course, those are one part of it. But then from a learning organization or from a technology-driven advanced organization, we should also understand that how are we leveraging technology, how are we leveraging our HR skills so that our business grows. So we should be able to ask questions to the, for example, shop floor, since this is focused on workforce management in manufacturing, we should be able to ask questions to my manufacturing people. Then, okay, why do you need so much manpower? And why can't we automate something? Going one step ahead with the help of Industry 4.0, we should be in a position to have some flawless, fast forward thinking from a data management perspective. As Vinod sir has rightly said, so data should be on the tip of our tongue, tip of our fingers, wherein we should be able to seen as a strategic partner, not because, not from a HR perspective, but the business should also be eager to collaborate with us. Nowadays, we in the International HR Day, it is the HR who are contributing. Okay, happy International HR Day, and very seldom of the HR professionals are receiving this inputs or this wishes from the business. Strategic HR becomes successful when your strategic inputs are valued by business. Ultimately, you have to earn money for business by way of rationalizing manpower, by way of adopting technology, by way of getting away with the things which we are badly known as. So for me, that is the strategic HR. And how are we moving ahead in that is, of course, by the usage of technology, data-driven decision making. So virtual reality or machine learning. So if we are investing into smart factories, what is the area? So when my engineering head says we need 10 manpower, am I in a position to counter him? Okay, why do you need this? And basis this study, you may need, for example, 4 manpower. Or probably if you have 10 manpowers, we can redeploy them to some of the functions which we have never thought of. And there are some basic functions which probably the manufacturing people may get blinded because they are used to it and they are used to be seeing this on a daily basis. But it is we as a HR professional, we from a support function would be giving them new perspective how we can redeploy them or how we can create a leaner organization with the help of Industry 4.0 and technology.
Very well said. So I believe, I mean, this is something everybody has taken a note. You want to contribute?
Yeah, I would like to add here something. Now, traditionally, when we are doing manpower planning, it was basically based on certain numbers. What are the gaps? Whom you want to hire? That's how traditional hiring happens, and that's how traditional manpower planning happens. When we look from the point of strategic workforce planning, it it's slightly different. It's different. It's maybe the numbers are same, but here the logic is from the point of what kind of skills the business need, what kind of skill already you have as an inventory, and what is that gap. The gap need to be filled not by hiring somebody, the gap need to be filled by upskilling your existing people. See, that's where the logic comes in, because if you won't like to make your own people redundant. Okay, that's the biggest challenge which HR will have as point of industry 4.0. Maybe it is slightly slow from an manufacturing perspective, but when you talk about technology company, it is happening very, very fast. You talk to many IT companies, there are people sitting on bench. They're sitting on bench, are not sitting idle. They are being told to get upgraded, upskilled immediately with the new technology which is happening. And that is the role of HR there. And all this is possible because you have those kind of data available to take those decisions immediately and very, very democratically. So that is your job to a great extent with the help of AI and other aspects.
Wonderful. So that's really a beautiful contribution from the two panelists. So one, you cannot avoid getting technology into industry. So you will have IoT, you will have automation, you will have real-time interaction of what's happening with the decision making, more decentralized. So that's what Industry 4.0 will look like. From strategy perspective, you're going to align your individual goals with the company goals, what Anurag rightly said. So it's going to be bottom line. So how do you contribute? So taking a cue from these two, I would request Munish sir to throw some light on how his, based on his broad experience, both representing an academia and interfacing with industry, what are the things that this institute or academicians in general should do such that these students are not theoretically prepared but also technologically ready for industry 4.0?
Thank you, Puneet. See, you said that this industry 4.0 as a term coined by Germany in sometime 2011. Okay, so today it's 2024. So my question is whether this is still industry 4.0 or is industry 5.0 or 6.0 or what? And my another question again to have a little more understanding of this so-called industry 4.0 buzzword, that whether there was some industry 3.0, if it was there, what was that? Okay. See, basically, I had an opportunity visiting Germany, 3-4 times, and especially with industry, with academia. So, of course, this question was there even for them. We also invited, few experts from Germany to our institute to understand what is this industry 4.0. Of course, each one of us knows, and they also made it clear that what exactly industry 4.0 would like to communicate to the businesses. Okay, but broadly speaking, if I have to simplify this industry 4.0 in perspective of our industrial setup in Chhatrapati, Sambhajinagar and around all the industrial areas, so then I think that we should really make it more simplified, because when if we take the broad understanding from the industry working from here, particularly SMEs, small and medium enterprises. So what we see that they are struggling on the very, very basis of industry 4.0. For an example, to me,
Industry 4.0 first step is digitization of all your processes. Okay, let me simplify first Industry 4.0. And second, you should see to it that collection of data should be seamless and there should be a precision in what you would like to collect. And I think there, if you talk about SMEs particularly, which is large in numbers, you would find that they are struggling, to have a right kind of technology, which is probably the in terms of costing, which say the cheaper things. And there I am seeing the role of academic institutions that do we really make some, cheap sensors? Can we really, understand what they are doing? And there we can help them rather than telling them you buy this and you do this and do that, and help them in really synchronizing in a right perspective of what they are doing, and then help them first step of collection of data through a automated process. I think when we say automated, then you can have some guarantee in terms of precision of data, which is very important. And the second step where I am seeing the role of academy and industry is one, and second is of making that data smart, sensible. So what we can do there, then all the computer related skills comes, when IoT comes, a lot of other communication tools comes, and a lot of other things comes, which probably is the second thing. And then of course there are many steps of where on the top of it you can say that they can start making their business decisions on the basis of what you are doing at data collections and making the data smart, and then data started talking to each other. And so industry 4.0 in Germany perspective, in Europe perspective, when I could see it is far ahead. I saw the ADAS lab in Karlsruhe University where teams from Microsoft, Google, and another lab working in Korea are talking to each other, how they are giving signals to the cars, and a lot of things are happening remotely and all those things. So I think this is not exactly relevant to us when we are talking in this forum. It is something, it is more functional, which is important. And there I am seeing a lot of opportunity to interact with academy and industry. So of course, this is my take that there is a lot of scope to interact. Let us understand the problem in the right perspective and break it in a small things, and try to find off opportunity to get engaged with them. And on the other side of it, of course, there are challenges even at academia level to teach all these disruptive technologies and all those things. And there are many things happening, let me tell you. We have excellent students, we have excellent resources. Now, how to really put them in right perspective so that we can make it more productive. So making them more productive, I think collaboration is one way of doing it. Really, there are a lot of things are happening, like professor of practice, where industry people can come, interact, teach to our students. A lot of teaching learning can happen. Minor projects can happen. I don't think even resources are the problem, funds are the problem. I don't see, because we have many isolated examples which shows that it is just the initiative which is the problem. It is not the resources. It is not the other things which are the problems. So a lot of things are there, challenges are there. I'm not denying that. I don't want to make it very simple thing. It is a kind of challenge. A lot of other things are adding into it. We have started talking about other things which you have to be. Now the large companies are, like which environmental things slowly becoming compliant. And I know that down the line, 10 years, you would see that it would be compulsory even for, what is that, SG, this is society governance and ESG. Yeah. So ESG compliant, now the large companies are there. You slowly find mid segment and even smaller segments you will find. So there are many challenges which are coming. And I think the only way, if we really want to learn from the developed economies, I think that is how effective academic and industries are working together. I am happy, let me tell you, this is first time last 20 years I am seeing that NIPM conference is happening in academic institution, at least in MIT. So it's a good sign. And HR, I think HR is the key to everything. I am also feeling today that I am a smaller HR sitting. So, so Puneet, there's a lot we can talk. Let us listen to others and then we'll keep adding to it.
Valuable perspective added by Munish sir. Let's move on to our dashing personality Vivek ji, who has a very vast experience of managing greenfield projects. Now, along with the challenges, also comes the opportunity for HR to begin with the culture, making sure that you have the right people, but you are also under pressure of meeting the deadlines. So, what are the things have you done such that your hiring, your new team, your talent is uh, talent calibrated to the future requirements or the current requirements of your particularly a company like NLMK, which I presume must be quite technologically incorporating a lot of systems like industry 4.0. So from your perspective, what are the things that have happened or what could people do when they are looking to build teams from greenfield project perspective?
Okay, thank you, Puneet. I will say, see, my plant is 3 years old in Aurangabad. Specifically, we didn't started on putting the efforts on Industry 4.0. As Manisha has mentioned, these are some bigger terminologies which we need to take it. My plant belongs to a Russian company. There are a lot of technical improvement or technological improvement has happened, which at least I have visited 2 times, which many of the steel companies have not implemented or not thought of, based on the digitalization platform, based on they're getting a simple tab wherein they're getting the production input output. So when we started applying those inputs here in my plant, when my engineers to whom I'm going to recruit, they didn't experience this in their college life. They didn't experience this there in their steel plants, because when we started hiring from the steel manufacturing plants. Now to the blue collar people or those who are going to work on the furnaces or slitting line or cutting lines, because they were not having that kind of expertise to work on that. So I have to bring some trainers from Russia, or I had to send some people from India to Russia. Now I support what Manish sir has said, that we are, this is not a simple topic to speak on, but we are far beyond, I will say, to take the technology or to absorb. Even though if I say that I have complied 100% 4.0, but what about my supplier? What about my customers? What about my employees, whether they are aware about these topics? We are struggling on SAP implementation project. We are discussing on MES implementation project. And in that, we are discussing on Industry 4.0. I will say a lot of things needs to be done from the HR perspective or the institute side. And this kind of collaboration will definitely help. And I think that's all from me.
So that has given us a very good perspective that when you're hiring, it's not always going to be a ready-made material. So we have to make sure that once they come in, a lot of training needs to be done. So one more aspect that I would like to touch upon with Vivek ji is he has handled significant union wage settlements. So how do you see the role of unions evolving in the context of this technological advances where the labor contribution is coming to a different level, maybe reduced? And what steps can HR take to ensure a smooth transition for employees among these technological advancements, because they are not going to be linear? So productivity linked agreements was something that used to happen where the scale of improvement was linear, while Industry 4.0 goes in quantum leaps at times by integrating one project at a time. So how do you see this happening?
when you work with a union, they discuss on main on the how much they are going to get it on the return on investment or whatever efforts they are putting it. Now I can quote an example. One of my organization where I work. Now because of the digitalization, earlier time we were doing the testing of a equipment or engine on a test bed. Now what happened with the technological efforts? We got a tab, simple tab where you just need to connect, just need to see that how that engine is going to work in future. Now what happened because of this technological improvement, the testing bed which was supposed to be taken care of my engine for another 1 hour, it got resulted into 5 minutes time frame. Now how I am going to, or I as a HR or the manager of this test bed, how he is going to engage those people. Now that is going to be a pain. Now initial period we can train them to get this acquaintance with the technology, but what after that? And you cannot only discuss on the number with the team, like, okay, you are giving me this much output, and what next? Because of the technological improvements, they will also ask questions. Now, what next, sir? What is our now? You have given us the technology. We are ready to support. How much incentive we are going to get it? Because we have increased the number. Now, to bring them on a platform wherein if this much happens, because our engine capacity was having some kind of, I will say, limitations. You cannot give them the engines continuously in flow. Okay, test it. No, it doesn't work like that. Then what challenges you need? Because the more idle they will sit, the more notorious things may happen, or they will have different kind of mindset or thinkings, and how to engage them. So those kind of things which I will say HR or IR person has to face, and keeping them engaged to that mindset on training platform, engagement platform, or training to the people. Then we introduce training cells wherein these people were training to the new people, new trainees to the company, diploma trainees. I think.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because Captain Nair and I was, because it's a union related matter.
Exactly.
we were
So
typing
let's
on how
take
to-
Munish sir's
I'm-
view, and
I'm-
then
of
we'll
course,
come back to
I
you.
may add, some different angle because I have no hang up of dealing with that union. So you see, we have seen in our neighboring country, Bangladesh, the kind of political instability. And if really you would really break out the entire episode, you would really see that maybe whatever the triggering point would be, but then the outcome was the two-time majority elected government and third term. Okay, third term, you know that who would get third term is very, very popular. And within no time of their third terms, the youth of the country dislodged. And the prime minister was having no option but to leave the country for her safety. Okay. No, you understand one thing, that we are socially sensitive people. We are highly sensitive people. Okay. We are not like West. This is, we are even not like Asia. The Southeast Asia is very, very different class, you can say. Okay. Now, my point is that, in my office is one class 4 working from last so many years. So from 2008, he is with me. One day I thought whether he is going to retire as a class 4. So then I said, okay, we should keep adding some knowledge to this person, some skills, so that I can get more work than class 4. Okay. Now, my point is that there are certain things where academic institutions can play very, very important role in handling this situation, which is going to be very, very critical in times to come. One, few people are working on certain skills from year together, and their entry level qualification is either ITI or they are not even ITI, but they have learned while working. Okay, they entered as a casual labor, and for over the period of time they worked, and then they got certain status, and they have you can say have gone to certain level of their career as a position and even as a terms of salary, and thereafter, it's a problem for them. Okay, so recognition of prior learning is one area. I think for any kind of workforce which falls in this kind of category should be, give some certification so that you can build another fresh aspirations in them to learn further. Okay. This certification, first certification, yes, just understand someone is working without dignity, or someone is working, he never have experience of what is degree, diploma, certifications, and with the government stamp or some authorized stamp. So you are not only giving him a certification, but you are also building aspiration to think positive, different for his own growth, or for own growth, her own growth. Okay. Second, the program like working professional program. In MIT, let us say if we have a regular program, 300 intake, we have already decided that we will have equal intake in working professional. So let the industry would come and work with us, and will share your load of building new aspiration in all of them. Okay. So it is not always learning skills. It is not always learning new knowledge. It is more of learning new attitude, new ways of looking into things. No. So therefore, in MIT, in another 5 years, you can see the equal number of students learning from industry and the freshers. This is what we are trying to do, and many such small things which are possible. I know that this is not the complete solution, but at least this is some solution. Okay, if you could able to create that critical mass in your industry, out of 100, critical mass would be 5, would be 8. That 8 would act like a catalyst for remaining number in 100 to help you build that aspiration in that. They may do something different. They may not come through the same pipeline or the same channel. So likewise, I think the future problems which I am seeing, a lesson out of Bangladesh and all other things, we have to work more closely. We have to frame this kind of structure where we can build new aspirations in the people working in industry, particularly on the shop floor. Thank you.
Well, great. Yeah. Well, very quickly, me and then Captain Nair will also add to the point of the blue collar workman. See, again, the theme is from manufacturing, and I think we all are somehow, somewhere or other related with manufacturing. So from a blue collar perspective, like in our organization, we always make sure that our we call it a wage associates. So our blue collar workers grow themselves. So like no worker who has done his or her ITI would like to have his or her sons or daughters joining at their own level where they have started. है ना? वो कामगार नहीं चाहेगा कि उसका बच्चा या बच्ची कामगारी हो, वो चाहेगा कि मेरा बच्चा इंजीनियर हो, एंड दैट इज अ ग्रेट इनिशिएटिव बाय MIT दैट हम लोग ऐसे कामगारों के बच्चों को भी हम ऐसे इंस्टीट्यूट में वी कैन हैव देम एनरोल फॉर दैट, एंड ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस डू सपोर्ट दैट. या तो म्हणजे मॅनेजमेंट काम करून गारच होऊन जाईल डायरेक्ट. So from a technology perspective, now these blue collar workers are, since we are all getting techno savvy, they are all very fast when it comes to wage administration. So you deduct their 5 rupees and they will come up with some solution कि मेरा 5 रुपए कम जमा हुआ है. And trust me, आप लोग को ये experience हुआ होगा, जो payroll देखा है किसी ने, हुआ है. So they are very particular, and they are more particular than us, that you cannot do any wrong with the wages, the blue collar workers' salaries or their benefits. So they are very particular, and when they are so smart enough to have their own wage administration and these things in place, these sharpness can be leveraged by the organizations to groom them into technology. Now so we are building smart factory here. On the basis of these blue collar workmen only, we will be having that. And if we have a mandate that, okay, if we can groom these people every 5 years, if we can have them grow into something or other, then we will have a fresh batch of or fresh generation of blue collar workers who will be who will be sort of diploma holders or degree holders. Like Canpack, I think, has Mand is there are many such organizations. In Skoda, we dreamt of having one line with diploma engineers who are on blue collars, and I think they must have established. Yuvraj, our friend, is here. So this kind of progressive mindset by organizations can help this blue collar mindset to get rid of it. Like Vivek has very rightly said कि wage associate बोलता है कि कोई भी अगर 100 रुपए बच रहा है या 1 घंटा बच रहा है, मेरे लिए क्या है? And that is the obvious mindset that they will have कि अगर मैं 100 रुपए बचा रहा हूँ, मेरे लिए क्या होगा? तो मेरे लिए क्या के बजाय हम हमारे लिए सबके लिए क्या ग्रो कर सकते हैं. एंड देन इफ द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन फ्रॉम एन एचआर पर्सपेक्टिव, अगर हम लोग उनको वो सपना दिखा सके कि भैया तू यहाँ से वहाँ ग्रो करेगा, तेरा करियर पाथ यहाँ से वहाँ रहेगा, मेरा कंपनी आज यहाँ पे है. अगर एम्प्लॉय जैसे स्कोडा इज द एम्प्लॉयर ऑफ जनरेशंस, so we normally used to say or Siemens, again Siemens, Nagesh is also here. So Siemens is the employer of generation, having history of 150 years, more than 150 years, like J&J. And we have 3 generations working together. So the grandfather of those organizations have started as a ITI or a very humble sweeper as well. But then he or she has worked hard to groom their next generation using technology into core engineers. And there are many examples in our organization also, wherein these engineers are working fantastically with the usage of IoT.
Okay, since we are talking about Industry 4.0, I would like to talk on those context. Firstly, let me tell you, if we are talking about Industry 4.0, the difference between blue and white is getting blurred. We need to understand this discrimination cannot go on. Something which we need to understand. The discussion of blue and white will not happen. It is a skill-based organization where individual will be recognized by his skill, not by the job what he does. That's something what we need to understand. Secondly, when we are talking about nothing against anybody, but just I'm trying to put a perspective to it. What I'm trying to tell you is, what is he trying to say? He's saying, allow me to earn more. That is what he's asking as part of wage settlement. He's asking us, allow me to earn more. As business leaders, as HR, it is our duty to make sure that how I can build a career for him and how I can use the technology which is available with me to make a career path so that he is able to earn more. That's the simple thing which, if we are able to understand that and work around in that area, I think half the battle is won. And let me tell you, today we may not be using this, but the kind of change which is happening, being aware about this and making ourselves updated about the change which is going to happen, that's the only way to face Industry 4.0 and 5.0 or 5.6 which is going to come up. Thank you.
Very well said. So there are no boundaries. You have to start looking at skills. Like Munish sir and Anurag said that let's build aspirations for everyone. So once they aspire to do something, you don't need to push. They would want to go. And that's a very valuable input or takeaway for all of us. Moving ahead to Vinod sir once again. So you have a good, very sound background in building high performing teams. So what do you think are the key characteristics of high performing teams in an industry 4.0 environment where things would be evolving with quantum jumps? And how can HR help cultivate these particular aspects to the teams?
Okay. High performing team, Industry 4.0 or no 4.0, since I come from an army background, high performing team is something which is very close to us. My friend sitting here would agree with me. When you look today, a few months or few weeks back, you had an issue in Wayanad, you had other issues across India, whenever the country is in any kind of crisis, you always call for is the people in uniform. Okay. So what is that which change them or make them different from others? It is more from the point of a team which works very cohesively, which works in tandem. The team understands each other. The team understand the purpose behind their existence, and the team is being motivated because they know there are people to stand by them and encourage them at every point, which is so that's how the what I call the composition of the team should look like. And that is where we need to be very, very careful when we are talking or building team around us. When we are building team around us with this basic principle, I think no team will fail. It's not about the uniform. It is about the kind of, because the people who are in uniform are people like you and me. They are no different. It is basically how you lead them, how you bring that sense of purpose in them, and you have to lead by example, and that's how things happen. That's not what is happening around the globe or in the rest part of the India, and that's where the problem lies in. Now, coming to Industry 4.0 and putting from a high performing stuff, as I said earlier, every individual who joins an organization, he joins an organization to make a career. He want to grow with the organization. The advantage or what we can draw from the kind of technology which is available with us is to simplify and make sure the data which is available with us, how I can use this data to effectively manage the career for each individual. These technology today helps us to personalize the career program for people, to source people, to make sure that machine learning and other AI tool, IoT for that matter, is helping people to make sure at this stage, initial screening itself, to tell him, okay, where this guy is suitable for. All those old methodology of doing psychometric test, all those stuff is slowly being done away with. So you have everything inbuilt in the system where we can use it effectively. And in a very short span of time, you are able to understand and align it with every individual. And I think that's the better way of doing things. And slowly that would become part and parcel of every organization.
Very well said. Moving to a topic that's very close to Anurag's heart and mind and experience is what we would like to learn from you is how can adoption of industry 4.0 technologies be leveraged to promote a more diverse and inclusive workforce? So what have you done? What can role can AI or things like that can play that can really look at the future workforce which is more diverse and inclusive is what we would like to learn from
Yeah,
you.
so it's a vast topic, and thanks
Yes.
for bringing this in. So diversity basically for every multinational organization and drilling down to all the organizations, including institutions. So DEIB, diversity, equity, inclusion, and belongingness,
Okay.
is the concept that we have been working on since, or Change as an organization has been working on since years. And we have specific career paths. So there are many programs which we do using technology. Like we have so my team is also here. So we have a program called as STEM 2D. So STEM is so women in STEM 2D. So women in science, technology, engineering, maths, management, and design. So this is a program wherein we invite students from all the colleges where we normally go for campuses, and out of this 2,000, so using the IoT inbuilt our IoT technology, we screen some of the students, and then we provide them projects, and the project also is on high tech technologies, wherein we pay them decent stipend, we send them to places, and then we have the projects going on, and focus is diversity. Again, equity and inclusion is where we ensure that the people from all the different regions, so we have some students from Assam, from Manipur, from Kashmir, from Chennai, from all parts of India. Some of the colleges are or the students are getting this benefit. This also brings in employer branding in a technology way. And then we have such programs which leverages diversity aspect of it, and we are heavily investing on the mindset change, because see, diversity is a mindset, And particularly when it comes to India, when it comes to industry, so we have more or less 49 and 51. So gender diversity is 49% female, roughly 51% male. But in industries, and I'm sure the industry representatives who are present here, this ratio is pretty less. And one of the reasons being mindset. So how are we ensuring that the mindset of providing equal opportunity, providing the female associates or people with special abilities, making feel them inclusive, or how are we enhancing the belongingness using technology? Is when again the psychometrics tool is one thing which is helping us a lot in assessing the areas wherein we should be having such kind of diverse group of people. And no two group, we from a HR perspective, we also ensure that no two groups are having 100% 100% gender, one kind of gender. So no 100% female working on a particular group, no 100% males mostly working on a project like that. So a diversity of thoughts using technology, and that IoT, our inbuilt IoT helps to bring in those diversity aspects of it. We have some programs called as STAR. So it is again abbreviation of a talent retention program wherein we choose people across the globe. I report into my global manager. So across globe we have a competition wherein we choose some people, a cohort of 25 to 30 people to be chosen for a specialized project at any part of the world. So recently our team of diverse employees have been to Singapore, and they'll be going to Shanghai. So, and then by having this kind of leveraging mindset, leveraging opportunities, the aspect of D and D, I and B is getting deeply rooted across J&J, like Captain Nair has said, and we are also working on some gender neutral connotation. Like normally, हम लोग बोलते हैं ना कि, and again, normally we say कि okay, he will not work. So basically, the employee. So the employee can be replaced by he, because normally, and that is where the mindset change starts. वो बंदा नहीं करेगा, बंदा क्यों नहीं, बंदी क्यों नहीं करेगी? So from that perspective, we are aggressively working on some grassroots mindset change, which focuses on changing the mindset of employees.
Excellent.
I would like to add one more thing here. With the technology which is in place, the very bias, the human bias which comes into play, like he very rightly said, when we start looking for people state-wise, country-wise, caste-wise, race-wise, and all that stuff, with the technology which is available with us, you can very well eliminate the human bias. Okay, and the moment you eliminate the human biases, because when human is involved, bias would naturally come in. Okay, the moment you eliminate the human bias, all those inclusivity factor, it's already taken care. So that's how I look at it. The advantage of having this technology is you are having a level playing platform for everybody, and all those biases which are inbuilt or which is human specific, that can be eliminated completely.
So AI screening is something that is going to make sure that human bias is taken care of, because inclusion and diversity, the biggest enemy is the bias. And it's very rightly pointed out by the two gentlemen.
Yeah, like in our case, we normally in J&J for many of the interviews or particular, and this I'm bringing a habit of it. I do not want resumes with names, and normally we are not allowed to ask the family background, because that is where we normally अच्छा Sharma ji hai, अच्छा Nair ji hai. So in India normally Sharma ji has a separate set of connections. Nair ji has a separate regional connect. Or ladka hai ya ladki. So these kind of biases, and that is very easily doable from an HR perspective. So normally when we advocate DA, I and B, these are the simple things that we can also do.
Right.
Puniji,
Yes, sir.
It's very interesting listening both of them. I also feel because probably Janam Bhumi and Karam Bhumi, when it is different, you need not to have any education for such things. It comes automatically actually. So basically any kind of border, the borders in your mind, like geographical borders, Pakistan, India, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Burma, then state borders, caste border, religion border, all these borders, sometimes I really feel are actually being used to hide your incompetency. More you are competent, more you are open. Actually, this is something we have to learn. Actually, this is there, and probably the answer to all those things lies into our education system, which has the larger responsibility of creating competent people in society, right thinkers. Okay, it's not about capabilities may vary, it hardly matters. Someone being carpenter in West proudly introduce himself or herself by saying, I'm a carpenter. Why you are carpenter? Because I don't like working in air conditioned setup. I really want to exert. I'm a creative. I want to create anything. I get more opportunity being carpenter than a computer engineer doing coding in the air conditioning hall. So we are far, far away there. And there I'm seeing the role of academic institutions. Good that actually see we have a lot of overhangs, a lot of things get into how the parvarish happened, all, your families and everything, the collective responsibility of the society and all those things are there. Very, very complex subject. And if we overcome that, we'll overcome everything. That is what I feel.
My next question to Munish sir is from the perspective of a different
I'm
role that
now
you play.
getting little scared from you because you have so many pages. Hopefully these all are not questions, otherwise no audience will be there, so everyone will go away and we all 4-5 people are going to keep talking.
How many of y'all are enjoying this talk? So,
Darwaja laga raha hai. Yes, please, sorry, I'm wasting
so
time.
Munish sir is basically also in one more role of heading that Marathwada Autocus cluster, right? So, considering that role of public-private partnership that you have championed, now how can these collaborations influence workforce development strategies in manufacturing sector, particularly in this particular era where you were highlighting the gaps of SMEs needing the technology while not affording it, and the integration of their processes in their existing small setup. So, is there a role that such things can play and how?
No, see, just I would like to quote one example. What happened when it comes to identify skill gaps? We have a problem, project reports prepared by all the big consulting companies, okay, all the big fours. Okay. Now, in one of the report, I came across where they were introducing Aurangabad. And I said, okay, is this Maharashtra Aurangabad or some other Aurangabad? Okay, when I saw that lot many things are not rightly represented, then I stopped reading the report. I thought that it was on skill gap and a lot of money spent by the government on it. And it got published and is being referred by Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship. And then subsequently everyone was referring the same report even up to the district level. Okay. So then we thought, okay, we do not have much funds as a Marathwada Auto cluster, but at least we can take Valuj as one of the sample because Valu industrial area is a good sizable sample to understand the skill gaps. And for everyone sitting here, let me tell you, last 2 years, we are working on the skill gap map of not only engineering, but all across all the skill sets being used in the industries. And in last 2 years, we are able to publish the first draft, and we sent that draft to 6-7 expert people working in industry. And after getting their feedback, again, we, spoke to our consulting company that these are the gaps you address, and most probably next month we are going to get the final report. So in public-private partnership, you can take such initiatives, where actually you can rightly diagnose whatever the subject you are looking for. Here in this case, a skill gap. So what exactly skill gap? Let me tell you, once that report will come, I will send it to NIPM. Just share with your members, and that will give you the right picture of today, tomorrow, and times to come. And we have another things what we have integrated in that system. As a MAC, I may not be the chairman because this is not a permanent position, but we have integrated one thing, that it should not be stationary, and after every 2 years we'll revisit, and for that we'll create some mechanism. I think many HR helped us getting that information. We have not received the information only from the HR, but the different HODs working in the industry. That is very, very important. Okay, sometimes I know that sharing information, we ask some critical information. There are certain issues where confidentiality is there. There's a lot of competitions, a lot of things where people are in HR not comfortable. Then therefore we have gone further down to different HODs working in the industry to find out what is the picture, and we have gone to that level, both not only the demand side, but even in the supply side. We had interaction with the ITIs, with the IGTR, with the CPET, with the engineering college, with the diploma colleges, to that what kind of, there is no interaction actually. There is no interaction what is required. I am doing something because there is a national, agenda of doing certain things. Maybe Balu is not at all interested in that national agenda, or even though if it is interested, it is only benefiting 10%. Are you getting my point? So, of course, Marathwada Auto Cluster is one of the finest public-private partnership example in the country, not only in Marathwada and in Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar, the best performing cluster. We have hosted many distinguished delegates there, working in the policy side, senior bureaucrats, people from politics, and not only that, in standing committee of parliament and many other things. So it's a good example. There's again example of collaborations, again examples which is built on actually on your needs, not to showcase something, to show to the world that see how great we are. What it is required, you build everything on the basis of your requirement. And that is the best part of Marathwada Auto Cluster.
Really commendable. Before we get into the concluding round, let's hear from somebody who's also quite a change management expert. Vivek ji, I want to understand from you, like with your background in change management and HR operations, what are the key components of a successful change management strategy when implementing Industry 4.0 technology in manufacturing organization that can be beneficial for this, if somebody organization is going into?
Say that it again depends upon the company wherein we want to implement this, and how the management takes it up. Then what kind of communication channel happens, what kind of training happens, how it will be taken ahead with the employees, what is the skill development programs we have planned for the people. And then how we drive it. Based upon that, because see, when I have worked with the Greenfield project, acceptance of new changes wherein they have worked with old technologies or old platforms becomes more crucial in terms of accepting the challenges. How you motivate them, how you guide them, how you'll show them the pictures, what is going to happen in future, how that is going to help us in the industry wise or the productivity wise, with the unionized culture, that becomes challenge, and how the management takes it up.
Very crisp and very effective answers to this.
I would like to add here something. When you're talking change management from Industry 4.0, I would say rather than saying change management, we should talk this from the point of transformation, because it is a transformation, it's not a change, okay? Because it will keep evolving every time, okay? Now, the second aspect which we need to understand is Industry 4.0, or if you start from 1, 2, 3, 4, it all needs, with 4.0 coming up with the kind of speed and the pace which it is coming in, it's demand a lifelong learning. So that is something which is required from an HR perspective. We ourselves need to upskill our, our own skills, and also make sure that your people, you build a culture of resilient. We all did it during the COVID time. We need to make sure that we are preparing our team for the same whatever changes which is going to happen around it. It may not happen at the same quantum which is happening in your neighboring company, because this can vary from country to country, organization to organization, department to department. And more importantly, it is also we need to understand is the level of understanding between people and department is also very, very different. So it requires for us to take everyone together. The simple mantra, I would say it's 3H: your head, your heart, and your hand. All three should work together. You need to direct with your head, put a heart to it, and get involved in the process, doing it yourself. I think half the battle is won.
Great. So that was a good concluding advice. And similarly, I would request Munish sir, Anurag, and Vivek also. You have last 30 seconds to give your final advice to this team. As Munish sir rightly said, if we elongate, it would become a challenge. Then.
No full stop. Let it be comma. See, change management. See the change management. The change management to me is something which is the most difficult thing. And if you are adding transformation to it, it is the next level of difficulty. See, when you say change management, actually what you are saying to unlearn. When you are saying change management, what exactly you want to say? You are saying that please work on your behavioral things. When you say change management, you are saying someone to look into the cultural aspects. And I think this is the most difficult thing. If you really want to do anything in change management, it should happen without people should feel there is something getting changed. Which is a very, very difficult thing. And we are trying to work, we were affiliated college. From affiliated college, we became autonomous. From autonomous, we merged because there was requirement of national educational policy. We are today, in terms of intake, one of the largest institute in the state. And when I proudly say, if you are good in Maharashtra, you are good in Asia. And there, what we are experiencing this change, which is more important than becoming from X to Y, Y to Z. But with X to Y, that change is happening or not. Other X is Y is again X. If Y to Z, Z is again X. If that X will be constant, you will be in trouble. You will be in trouble. And therefore, we are very carefully working that when we say we are X to Y, you are actually X to Y. You have unlearned what you have done in X, and you have taken all good things to Y. And therefore, this is something which is going to remain constant as we are living in the disruptive world. There's continuous learning, Mr. Vinod has mentioned. This is something which we actually, even our director did mention in his opening remarks, that this is something which we want to inculcate in the youth. That, okay, this 4-year degree is not enough. This 4-year degree, and most important challenge as an academic institution, what we are facing is to correct the aspiration of the youngsters on campus. Everyone to be overnight a successful person.
Very true, very true.
And we really need help of industry really to correct those aspirations. There is no shortcut. The moment we set or reset this particular thing, I think that will be great help. You please help us. Only in this regard, I think we will have a win-win situation in times to come.
Thank you, sir. So very quick, so takeaway or maybe very quick gist. Last piece of advice. So normally I get motivated by movies a lot, and there is a very fantastic movie with Madhavan and Amir Khan, Rang De Basanti, in which Amir Khan says, जिंदगी जीने के 2 तरीके होते हैं. एक तो जो चल रहा है वो चलने दो, नहीं तो जिम्मेदारी उठाओ उसको बदलने की. And that has struck me hard because वो मेरे कॉलेज के टाइम पे आया था, and then I thought कि यार ये thought सही है. So then the way we would like to be treated, अगर हम लोग को लगता है हम लोग अच्छा ट्रीट नहीं हो रहे, तो हम लोग उसके लिए क्या करना चाहिए, हम लोग उसके लिए क्या कर रहे हैं. हम लोग को लगता है कि यार हम लोग ग्रो नहीं हो रहे, हम लोग खुद को ग्रो करने के लिए क्या करना चाहिए. तो चेंज बिगिन विथ अस. तो अगर हम लोग खुद अच्छे से कर रहे हैं, अगर हम लोग वो कर रहे हैं, जिम्मेदारी अगर उठा रहे हैं अपने को चेंज करने की, so everything will change around us. And I have experienced myself as well, and constant learning helps.
Absolutely. And under your leadership, NIPM is trying to play that role to help everybody keep learning new things.
And next year I will also change and he will join in.
So change is permanent.
Change is permanent.
Vivek ji, last few
Just
words.
to add upon what Manish sir has said, that we need to create an eagerness to learn. Like just an example I want to give. When we started our production, the blue collar, which we called as a diploma engineer, they were supposed to work on a SAP. Now we implemented a SAP, and they didn't even means in their diploma curricular activity, they hardly had gone through MSCIT or some kind of courses. They were not even ready to accept that, sir, हमको SAP करना है, हमारे साइड से कोई एंट्री गलत हो जाएगा तो you will fire us. We created that kind of eagerness that if you want to compete with the competition, and then अगर हमको number 1 बनना है within NLMK or within steel manufacturing, electrical steel manufacturing, we have to learn this, and you have to learn this. We are there to support, but you have to get it done. So that kind of eagerness we have to generate, and that is what I think Munish sir and his team is already doing. On behalf of NLMK, I just wanted to give my thanks to Munish sir, and we are ready as NLMK to play the vital role to bring this change. And I can commit right now that you start the batch for the experts to the industry. 10 people will start coming from my side. Yeah. This is only because of NIPM.
Can we have a big round of applause for these people, please? Over dinner. You want to have one very जोर से question आया है.
From MIT. Okay. So before representing any organization, I am the student of this college, and I really feel proud. This amazing meet has been happen between HR and industry and the MIT Institute. Okay. So this is something like, I think MIT has done a phenomenal job bringing all the industries and HR here. So it is to the campus. It is something like Shasan Apल्या Dhari. Okay. And in the beginning, Mr. Nilesh Patil has mentioned that we as an industry or institute, we need to work upon, there is a lot of gap between students who don't understand the industries or how the industries actually behave. Okay. So my question is to Anurag sir, how as a NIPM or how being an industrialist, we can contribute to bridge this gap. So people or student of any institute who should learn how actually industries behave, not only the process and the aspects of the industries, their cultures, values. So they should become ready to industry.
Great.
Okay.
And
so that is my question. So
yeah, Kabli? Thank you.
yeah, thank you.
So that's a very good question, and actually Munish sir might not be aware that when I was with Siemens, and I changed it also. So I was the biggest promoter of his BTech program of 6 months. So Gosavi sir होते आता केंचे sir वगैरह आहेत ते. So internship का even Lomte sir knows about it. So I was the biggest promoter of that program. We used to have 30-40 people, students from this institute and other institutes as well. And we used to get them trained under our, under different factories of Siemens that we have in Aurangabad here. So similarly, NIPM also has student chapters. And so we do have one student chapter which Sandeep Pimpre, Sandeep, can you please stand up? And can we all have a big round of applause for it? So Sandeep is very instrumental in having such kind of engagements with MIT students from student chapter. Varun is very active with Devgiri. Suchitra madam is from MGM. So there are 5-6 student chapters which we have, wherein the students are getting benefited not only in terms of projects or jobs, but in terms of the mindset that is required. many of the engineers like Ranjit, you are into HR, but many of the core engineers who want to work on shop floor. And ये जो mindset है कई बार, and many IT companies are also responsible for that, that engineers or the core mechanical engineers need to have their hands dirty at least for a couple of years, working on the crucial technologies. And that is where we from an HR perspective or we from an NIPM perspective are also passing on the message that at least वो apprenticeship है. जैसे आपने बोला शासन आमच्यादारी, तो आमचा लाडक्या भावांना आणि लाडक्या बहिणींना पण तो मेसेज असेल की आपल्याला जे कोर आहे त्याच्यासाठी NIPM कार्यरत आहे. We are officially there. We have a concept of mentoring wherein I am also mentoring a couple of students from different institutions. Puneet is a career coach mentor, and the executive committee, we have around 13 members in the executive committee. All are here. Majority of them are here. Anjali madam is doing fantastic job when it comes to coaching and deploying students into her company. So we are bridging that gap by providing them this opportunity and have their expectations set very clear. So likewise, we are 300 people strong NIPM community. If we can have 5 students each, तो लाइक अभी सर ने बोला 5,000 है हमारे पास में, अगले महीने फॉर एग्जांपल कोई दूसरा कॉलेज हमें होस्ट करता है ऑन अ सिमिलर थिंग, प्रोबेबली उनके पास भी 1,000-2,000 लोग होंगे. बट देन इफ यू हैव सम कोर स्टूडेंट्स एंड अगर 300 हमारे मेंबर्स हैं और अगर वो 5-5 बच्चे भी अगर कोच कर लेते 6 महीने के लिए, तो वो 1,500 बच्चे हम लोग हर साल कोच कर पाएंगे विद दिस सिंपल इनिशिएटिव. तो जैसे मोदी जी का है कि बहुत सिंपल स्टेप्स करते हैं, सिंपल बिगिनिंग करते हैं. वो टॉयलेट्स बनवा लेंगे, वो मन की बात करवा लेंगे, रेडिओ का यूज़ कर लेंगे. हम लोग क्यों नहीं कर सकते? तो अगर हम लोग यहाँ पे आणि आपल्याला सगळ्यांना चांगलं वाटतं की इंजिनिअरिंग बोलायला ब्लेम करायला इन्स्टिट्यूशन म्हणून की रेडी इंजिनियर भेटत नाही आहे, मग आपण काय करतो त्यासाठी? आपण ते करायला पाहिजे जेणेकरून आपण काही विद्यार्थ्यांना हम लोग कुछ स्टूडेंट्स को एंगेज करें और हम लोग को स्टूडेंट्स को कोच करें हमारे पास. So that is what NIPM is also engaged into, and we are open for this. And we have got sponsors like Vivek who are committed professionals like Nair sir, and of course father figure like Munish sir to support us.
One thing, because everyone is getting bored. Sorry for taxing you more. But you see, where of course all the contributions which are happening or going to happen are very important. But I have a piece of advice where, let us say we have a curriculum, okay, set curriculum. Okay. Of course, with all said and done, we have flexibilities and everything is there. In a kind of simple language, if I would say that we want to outsource 20% of our curriculum of management to NIPM. You pick and choose. You select people from the community and tell them, okay, they can take these subjects. We are open to it, and we don't care of any rules and regulations in that sense. Okay, आपको ये UGC ये कह रहा है, ACT ये कह रहा है, we don't bother. We only bother of giving quality educations. We will manage, we'll see how to manage those compliances. But if that will happen, we can even open our institutions when you have a lean time or you would have a kind of not engaging day, whether even on Sunday, we are ready to open our department. The real commitment comes when it is a delivery. From last year, I have started teaching MBA. I have taken the subject because there was no prescribed qualification for it. I said, okay, I will take that. But otherwise, in our system, okay, if you want to teach HR, you're supposed to be MBA HR. I think, of course, the Captain Nair is what a wonderful person. Okay? He can teach our students much better than anybody with the double MBA HR degree. Okay. And on this side, Solanke sir. So everyone, I think this kind of engagement would be sustainable. You can build on it with all other things what we are doing. So let us do that. We have straight offer to NIPM for 5 people, full-time professor of practice, along with 20% of curriculum. You pick and tell we want to teach this. You will be given flexible timetable as per your timing to teach our students.
That's a wonderful, great. Okay, that was a great offer, sir. I mean, definitely it will benefit both the industry as well as the academia, and we can build a sustainable workforce coming into the industry. So just to sum up quickly, I'll take up few points. I know we all are hungry, even I'm hungry. So I'll not take much time, but we still have few things to take up. And before that, we have gone through many key inputs and insights during this discussion. So like Industry 4.0 is moving from production and supply chain focus to a human centric approach. So moving from a automation kind of thing to, getting more people centric. Uh, Customer focus is also moving towards customer as employees or the internal customers as the center of attraction. Strategic HR we talked about or we listened about, and strategic HR is more, HR getting into the business, HR, being at the center of the table. So it's not only, in one of the lectures in the past we have heard about, HR kya karta hai to rangoli banata hai. So it's not the days. So gone are the days. I mean, HR is right there in the boardroom, right there on the discussion table with when the top management is deciding the strategy for the organization. Upskilling is a key going forward, and that's really a challenge where you have to keep your talent, upgrading their skills, upgrading their knowledge to cope up with the change, to adopt the new changes in the organization, in the industry. And as Munish sir has rightly said, is this industry 4.0 or 5.0, 6.0? So that's the pace that we are changing with AI coming into picture. It's really a question that are we really into industry 4.0 or we are far ahead? With this, I would also like to say, gone are the days when we used to say slow and steady wins the race. It's the time when we can say that fast fast and furious will win the race. You have to be fast, you have to be passionate, you have to be flexible enough to accommodate the change, accommodate the changes in the industry. Digitization is the key, so you have to focus on digitization. You have to look for opportunities wherein you can digitize your processes. Data, uh, HR needs to be very very adept with the data. They need to have data at their fingertips. uh, Data analytics is one of the trending streams in these days. So you have to be really good with data. You have to know how to play with data, and that's the key to your success in the industry as a strategic business partner. uh, Engaging workforce, unions, that we talked about, we listened about, and engagement is one of the key areas or the KPIs for HR teams nowadays. So engaging is not just entertainment. Again, the same thing. Rangoli is not engagement. Engagement is how you upskill your people, how you plan their upskilling, how you plan for bridging the gap that you will be having when you are moving from for 3.0 to 4.0 or 5.0. So that's engagement. That's how you keep your workforce engaged, uh, by giving them a succession plan, by giving them a foresight where they are going to be a 5 years down the line. So that's engagement. Lead by example is one of the key inputs that we can get from this discussion. So you have to lead by examples. You cannot just आपण एक मराठीमध्ये एक म्हण आहे आपल्याकडे, उंटावरून शेळ्या हाकून नाही चालणार. So you have to be on the toes, you have to be in the field, you have to lead by example. We listened about DEI also. So diversity, most commonly misunderstood as getting females into the mainstream, but we are already there. I mean, we can see lot many women in the industry, but it's not only women. Of course, we still need to work a lot for getting women into the leadership group, getting women into the mainstreams. But diversity is much more than that. We need to understand that and understand it by the real sense. So it's, it's not only the gender diversity, it's the regional diversity, it's inclusion, getting the, spatially able people into the mainstream. I'm sure many, or I will say 90% plus organizations may not be having the facilities to, accommodate the specially abled people into their organizations. So that's the stage where we are, and we are talking about Industry 4.0. So diversity is a vast topic, and we really need to start working on that, because going forward, availability of resources is also going to be a challenge, and that time this diversity will definitely help us, and it will help us a lot. We also listened about change management, and that was one of the important key takeaways this evening. And we have to really walk the talk. We have to move with the pace. We have to be very flexible. We have to be very accommodative for the change, and that's the key. And last topic that Anurag has also talked about the engineers getting into the manufacturing. So people, or the fresh engineers, we have seen that they don't want to get their hands dirty. But unless you get your hands dirty, you will not understand what it is. You cannot, be a good supervisors. So it's is as it says. So unless you get into the water, you cannot swim. So unless you get your hands dirty, you cannot learn what it is. So if the engineers are present over here, or if the the faculty members can pass this on, so you have to get into the field. You have to get your hands dirty and learn the things. So I think I have tried to capture the takeaways for all of us, and I once again really thank from bottom of my heart to the panel members, to the moderator as well, and thank you for such wonderful insights, and a big round of applause for all of them. We'll take only 5 more minutes, not more than that. So to keep such kind of programs available and coming up for the HR fraternity in and around, not take more than 5 minutes. I know it's 9:40 almost around. So we'll quickly have some felicitations for the special performers who support to conduct such programs for the HR fraternity in the town. So starting with, I'll quickly request if the representatives from TJSB Bank are there. Okay, so just to make everyone aware, NIPM is a non-profit organization. We are completely dependent on the support from industries and sponsors to conduct such kind of programs. So we'll skip that quickly. So I request Sandeep to come forward, and we would like to request Munish sir to felicitate Sandeep for his outstanding contributions for conducting student chapter programs and today's event specially. So Sandeep has contributed a lot, and he was a key player in getting all these things arranged today. Thank you, Sandeep. I request Suchitra to come up. I request Captain Vinod Nair to felicitate Suchitra. So thank you, Suchitra, for your wonderful contributions towards the monthly newsletters and the annual report of NIPM. Your efforts have really helped us a lot. I request Varun to come up. I request Captain Vinod Nair again to felicitate Varun for his wonderful contribution in organizing the business quiz and full day event on negotiation skills, also getting Dr. Usha Zair for the mega event at Taj. Thank you, Varun. I request Anjali ma'am to come up. Request Vivek to felicitate Anjali ma'am for her contribution towards the full day program on negotiation skills. I request Ashish to come up. So as I said, NIPM is a non-profit organization and we are fully dependent on the sponsorship. So I request Vivek again to felicitate Ashish for getting Dhoot Hospital as a sponsor for us. I request all the EC members to stand up at their places. I request everyone to give them a big round of applause because it's the EC team which takes all these programs for you, which works hard, takes efforts out of their professional time, and contribute for the success of NIPM and HR fraternity. So thank you all. Thanks the committee members. Moving forward, I request Vinod Nair sir to come forward, and I request our Vice Chair Puneet ji to felicitate our panelists today. So it's a small token of gratitude from NIPM. Round of applause. I request Vivek to come up. I request Anjali ma'am to felicitate Vivek. Thank you, Vivek, for sparing your time. Last but not the least, I request Munish sir to come up, and I request Anurag to felicitate Munish sir. So we also had Anurag as our one of the panelists and Puneet ji as our moderators. So being part of the NIPM EC committee will not be directly felicitating them, but I request everyone to put a big round of applause for both of them. Thank you. Taking this forward quickly, I would also like to put forward a vote of thanks. I will start with Professor Munish Sharma sir. So thank you, sir. Thank you very much for hosting us today, for being esteemed panelist, and making this facility available for us. So thank you very much. I also thank Dr. Nilesh Patil for helping us in this initiative and the entire MIT team for all the arrangements for making the registrations, this facility available and ready for all of us. So thank you once again. I once again thank you Sandeep for coordinating the entire event today. Thank you Sandeep. I thank all the panel members for taking out your time and sparing your wonderful insights to sharing your wonderful insights with all of us, enlightening us on various topics. Thank you once again, all of you. Thank you, Puniji, for being a very kind moderator for the event. Yeah. And last but not the least, our photographers today for capturing the events keynote. And last, to all of you for being present over here, taking out your time from your busy schedules and attending this program. So thank you all once again. And I request all of you to stand up for the national anthem. जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंग विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंग तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाए तव जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे भारत माता की. Thank you. We request everyone to be a little थोड़ा सामने आ जाएंगे. We'll have a group photograph and then we'll disperse for the dinner.
We'll go down.
Yeah, we'll go down. Maybe one click after that we'll take on the stage. इसी का बाद में ले लेंगे. We'll first have a group
Please join.
Yeah, there is a feedback form in your kit. So please take out some time to fill up that feedback form and submit it on the registration desk. And dinner is ready, so everyone are requested to join us for the dinner after the group photo. Please join for the group photo. Just gather in the front. I request the panelist and the EC members to join us on the dais for a group photo. Panelist and the EC committee.